So thank you all for joining us. I appreciate it. We're going to talk a little bit about one of the Navy League's main missions, which is advocating on behalf of our sea services. So we're going to start with a little bit of background, introduce you to our new site, and tell you about some of the reporting capabilities that we have on there. The site itself is pretty easy to use, so this will likely be a short call, but we want to make sure everyone feels empowered to use this and feels comfortable, and most seriously understands why this is so important. So obviously, one of the three main missions of the Navy League is to advocate for the sea services. This is vitally important for all of them and for our mission and for the successful organization. And this is not something, we don't want you to think that advocacy is something that our membership is not a part of. If anything, your advocacy and your work is the main thrust of what we do. It's the most important part of the advocacy, is the work that's happening in the field by our members. This is not something shadowy that's happening elsewhere. This is something that is happening in your neighborhood, and actually even from your own desktop and your own computer. So this is not just a Washington-only responsibility or mission. This is something that we depend on our members in the field to do as well. So moving on to our first slide. So this is a little bit of a joke. I've heard, this is something that we hear a lot, especially now. There's a lot of cynics out there who think that that they don't matter, that they're just a voice, that they can't make a difference, and that Congress only cares about donors and lobbyists and K Street and that type of thing, and that's a common perception, and that can really dampen a lot of outreach and a lot of activity that we would hope to see otherwise. And I'm here to tell you that that is absolutely not true. That is 100% incorrect. If anything, you, the voter, the constituent, has more of an influence than anybody else. There was a think tank that did a study. They interviewed a number of different congressional offices to find out what has the most impact on their voting habits. And you can see hearing from a constituent, an individual email message matters more than twice as much as a visit from a lobbyist. If you're wondering what the most influential is, an in-person visit from a constituent, but that's not always feasible. We know that just sending an email is a lot quicker, a lot easier for you. And so we really want to make sure that you recognize that an email message from you matters a lot more than a visit from me. So I always say when I talk to you guys that an email from you is worth 10 visits from me. So you can really make a difference as a constituent. You are actually the most empowered person that has any influence on these issues. So we really want to make sure that you guys understand that reaching out to your member of Congress is fulfilling the Navy League mission, and it's something that is more important coming from you than it is coming from the DC headquarters office. So that's just a little bit of background about why it's important and why it matters. The other issue is that the services need you. They have to count on you. The services are always limited a bit by what's happening in Congress. There's a number of different laws, most specifically the Hatch Act, that bars services from advocating on behalf of themselves. Our services go through a very strange budget process. So first, the Navy, each of the sea services will submit their budget requests up to the Office of the Secretary of Defense, who then cuts everybody down and then submits an overall DoD budget request to the Office of Management and Budget, who then will slice it down to get an overall top line number that the President or the administration is happy with. And so that original budget request that got submitted by the Navy or the Coast Guard or the Marine Corps has already been slashed down a couple of times. So what you see in a president's budget request doesn't necessarily reflect what they really, really need. So we have tools like unfunded budget requests that come out from the services every year, conversations that you all are having in the field, what we hear from service members and leadership, and in our discussions when formulating the Maritime Policy Report, and other places like that help us inform, okay, what's the gap? What do the services need that they don't have? And then they're restricted. So it almost turns into this kabuki theater during congressional hearings over the budget request, where members of Congress will kind of call out the services, is this what you really need? And the services have to just say, well, this is what our budget request is, and that's what I have to stand behind. So we're really the only actors who are able to go in there and fill that gap and say, look, we know this is what the budget request is, but here's what the services really need. So it's vitally important that we're able to do that. And also because of your conversations in the field, these grassroots conversations that you have, we're able to have like a bottom-up type of influence as well. We're able to tell them, here's what's happening on the field, here's what we know that the services need. I know for a fact that my local commanding officer has a manpower shortage that's never going to get fixed. That type of thing is something that that you're able to speak on with authority. So the services really depend on our organization, just like the Army depends on AUSA or other organizations like that to be their primary advocates. This is something that they really cannot do. They're very hamstrung, and so anything that we can do to move us forward is very helpful. One of our main issues that we're pushing right now, for example, is the Coast Guard heavy polar icebreaker. So this is something that they need, that was in their budget, that they've been talking about for a long time, but right now they're a little bit constrained. They can't get up there and be as aggressive as we can. So they're really depending on us to carry that water for them. And you're the one who can make that difference. I can't cover all these offices, and even if I could, it still would matter more coming from you, coming from a voter. So that's why we really need you to be active and to take part in our system. So now that we've got you spun up and interested and understanding how important it is and how much of a difference you can make, you can do it with just a few clicks. So it's very easy. The Navy League has a new website similar to our old one that should be manageable for you. So it just takes a few clicks. We recently changed platforms, so it looks a little different, but it's for those of you who remember our old system, it's just as easy, if not more. So we want to walk you through that process, show you how to get to the website, and show you how to make a difference. So our website, the name is still the same, Voice to Congress. As I mentioned, it looks a little bit different. But basically from this website, once you log in the first time and send your message, it'll remember your information, autofill it, and get this information out there. If you're worried that you're not an expert on the issue, that's nothing to worry about. The letters are all pre-written by Navy League headquarters staff. We've got all the information, all the data, all the facts that are on there. And so you can look at the message, read it through, decide if you want to add in a personal note, or if you think that we are, too aggressive or not aggressive enough in our messaging. That really gives you the chance to edit that message. If you want to put in something local that helps, that's great. If you recently met with a member of Congress and you want to reference that, you can put all that in there. So and it'll automatically find who your members are. So if you're saying, well, I don't know who my senator is, or I don't know who my representative is, it's very easy. You just plug in your address and it's able to find it for you. Not only is the message system itself very easy, but it's also very easy to share this with others. You'll notice that our website is accessible from our public-facing website. You're able to get in there without being a member. It doesn't require a login. It doesn't require even Navy League membership. We want to mobilize as many people as possible. So if for example, if your wife or your nephew, old college roommate are not Navy League members, but they care about these issues, or you really want as many people as possible to take action, we make it very easy for you to share this information. You can do this through the link page, and also as soon as you take action, you can share that with others. So we're going to go ahead and walk you through this, through how to access the site. So from the Navy League homepage, there is a hyperlink right at the top. And I'll show that to you in a second. You can also go to the website directly. That said, we're going to leave this on the screen for a second for you, so you can write down that website if you want to add that in as a favorite on your web browser. And there's also an app. So let's say that you're reading the news on your telephone and you get upset about an issue. Iran threatening to close the Strait of Hormuz, and you want to say, you know what? I need to remind my member of Congress that the only people who can solve this problem is the United States Navy. I'm going to send them a note right now while I'm fired up about it. And if you have the app already downloaded, you'll be able to take action. And they do have an app for different types of telephones. So if you have an iPhone or Amazon, just go to your local app store. You'll search Voter Voice, which is all one word, and it'll pop up. And then once you download the app, you'll get prompted to enter your email address. You'll get a verification code from Voter Voice. It will not come from the Navy League. Then you just verify that it's your email to make sure it's not somebody else who's signing you up. Then you'll be prompted to find the association. You do a search for Navy League. It'll pop up, and then you will have access to the mobile app. And so it's very, very easy to use, just a couple of clicks. So even when you're on the go, you can still take action for the sea services. This is a nice thing to show your friends at your next council meeting, to show how easy it is, and ensure that you can speak up for the C services no matter where you are. So it is, so in addition to visiting from the website, you can also go through an app. So we really, I think, which is what part of the appeal of this, of the platform that we're using. We really want to make sure that you can take action no matter where you are or when it is. So it's very easy. And then after you send the email, we want you to tell everybody about it. Once you've hit send on your letter, you'll get a prompt that has different social media links. So as long as you're on your laptop or you have all these other apps installed on your phone, it'll quickly and easily post something on your Facebook or your Twitter account that says, hey, I just took action on the Navy League's Heavy Polar Icebreaker campaign. You can too, and they'll have that link automatically. It's very, very easy for folks to go on. So that makes a huge difference as well. We've seen other studies as well that have shown that if you see that your friends have taken action on an issue, you're more likely to as well, because you know that you can trust your friend, that this is somebody who knows a lot about the sea services, and if they're speaking up about this, it's easy for you to as well. And so it makes it easy. It makes it easy for other people to see it. They may know that they care about this issue. They might visit your Facebook page to see if you're talking about it. And it makes it very easy for them to find that campaign link instead of having to start from scratch or find another service organization. So we really encourage you to tell everyone about the website and tell everyone that you took action. You want people to know that you care about this issue enough to not only take action, but to tell everybody about it. And if everybody who tells about it, then again takes action, that makes a huge difference. All right, so if you can give us a second, I'm going to walk you through the website itself so you can see it. So this is the Navy League website. It should be a familiar site to you. So we can get to our Voice to Congress page very easily. Up in the upper right, there's a hyperlink. You can see my mouse here moving to get to the Voice to Congress site. You click on that, it'll open a new window. So this is the Navy League's Voice to Congress site. So you can sign up here to get new alerts, and here you'll see all our campaigns that we have going on. These are our top issues. We can highlight a few, and then we have some others that are not quite as time sensitive below the fold a bit. So these are every single issue that we have campaigns on right now. We're going to go ahead and walk you through this process. So as I mentioned, let's do Heavy Polar Icebreaker, since it's one of our biggest issues right now. So every time you click on a campaign, we're going to give you information. We're not asking you to go in there blind. So you have the issue that's built up that kind of tells you a bit about why this issue is a crisis point, what's going on right now, and here's what we think should be done about it. We don't ever just want to complain about something that's going on. We want to provide a solution. So for every issue that you see, there will be a solution, and there's an incentive to act. So you may be an expert on this, but if you're sending other people to this website, it gives them that kind of background, so they know why we care about this issue and why it's important to the Navy League, why it's important to the country, why they should take action, and we make it very easy for them. So as you can see, I live in Washington. I live in Washington D.C. So my personal one only has Delegate Eleanor Norton. If you were doing this from Virginia, you would also see 2 senators here that would be getting that message. So it automatically autofills your members of Congress based on your address. I'd already plugged in my profile, so I'm already logged in here. The letters, so if I want to change this, if I want to change anything in here, I can. Everything's editable. It tells you how many characters are remaining for that member's website. So if I wanted to add in, say I'd been on the icebreaker before and I cared a lot about it, I could just write in the box immediately and say, having been on an icebreaker. You can edit, or if you don't, you can write in that experience. You can make it personal. You can take out whatever you need, and then you send the and then you just send the message, and it's gone. So go send the message, and then you'll be prompted afterwards to share on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or you can even email the link to your friends and family. So it'll automatically open an email address for you. So going back, so I was already logged in. I'm going to take you back to this to the Congress website so you can see how to edit your profile too. So if we wanted to do amphibs, change your profile, this will pop up where it'll show you can change your address, your information, your email, and you can change all that. You can have it remember you, keep you subscribed to email alerts. You need to make it as easy as possible so that you'll get the prompt in case we do have new campaigns, and you'll get alerted every time a new one comes up. Like I said, you can edit, it'll remember your information, so you don't have to put that data in every time, and it remembers you. So that's our website. There's a couple of other fun things that are on here that we haven't gone through yet. You can find legislation. This basically just searches the congress.gov website. So let's say you want to find out if there's been any legislation introduced that has to do with the Navy. You can just do a quick search and it'll find other bills that are going on. And so if you see something here that we're not tracking or that's of interest to you, you can find those and send to us or follow them along on your own. Additionally, let's say you just want to know who your officials are without going through the whole rigmarole of the system or prompting a letter. You can do that here. So let's see who my members would be if I was using my Virginia address. Sometimes you'll get that prompt if your district is split or if your zip code is split. So you can find all of your officials here as well. So it's an easy way to find everyone that you want. This will also let you send them a blank message on your own. If you don't like any of the messages that we have and you want to send a more general message or a more specific message, you can do that right here. So you can say, I want to email my congressional members, but not about any issues on the page. You just click through, and it'll let you write a new message that'll go to all three of those folks if you want to talk about something that's totally different. So it's a nice platform for that as well. It gives you a lot of freedom to write the messages that you want. All right, and then there's a lot that we can do too in terms of reviewing and seeing who's taking action. So this is what I see when I log in. This is ours. It lets us look at which states are the most active. So you can see when I hover over different states, you can see where we're seeing the most engagement. So if there's anybody here from California, good job. You guys have been the most active on our campaign site. We can see activity, first-time advocates. We can also go over to the reports and see how each campaign is doing, how many people have gotten messages about this. And that's really helpful because that way I know on my end, before I go meet with a congressional office, I can say, I know you've been hearing from our members about this. We can also help you break down the engagement for your specific region. Let's say you want to know how engaged your Navy League members are in the state of Florida. You can send me a note and I can let you know, all right, you've had 50 people in the state of Florida have sent messages using our website. So it's another easy way to help track engagement from your members that are in your councils, that are in your region, in your area, in your council. And so all you have to do is reach out to us and we'll get you that information. So it's a good way to track how our members are doing. And this is just for the last couple of months since we have moved in. All right. We're going to get back onto our screen. So in addition to these reports that we can pull from you, it's very easy for us to add campaigns. So let's say that using that legislation tracker, you find an issue that we're not looking at or that you think deserves its own campaign. Just send us a note and we're able to create that campaign for you pretty quickly and very easily. So it's easy on our end to get everything up and running. This happened, a good example of this is what's happening with Mare Island. Tom Pruder, who's the region president in California, had a local issue. So we wrote a campaign for him. And so that one has been up and running. He's even gotten some media coverage on it. He stayed engaged. He was able to let his member of Congress, who's been tracking this issue and working on it with him, know that we've got this site up and going. And so we're able to really help with your local efforts too. As you saw from that legislator lookup, we can reach out to members of your state house, a state legislature, your governor, and those folks too. So if you have something that's a local issue and you want to organize a response, please feel free to reach out. I think that's something that we can get to you. If you're a council president, area president, region president, and if you want to know how engaged your members are, send us a note. We can track, you saw that map, we can track how engagement's doing for your state, let you know how many regions, how many people are being active, and it can also help you tell what is of most interest to your members too, right? So for example, if the state of California, has is sending, 3 times as many messages about the Coast Guard as they are the Marine Corps, that's something to know. Okay, so if I want to do a big high-profile event, I should probably focus more on the Coast Guard because that's what my members are interested in. So it's a nice way of kind of seeing what your folks are interested in, what subject areas capture their attention, what they would like to learn more about, and where their engagement is. So we can, so like I said, if you have an engagement, if you have a particular issue that you're following, you want to know how engaged people are on it, we can find that out for you. We can let you know just generally how active your members are, where they're coming from, and how each campaign is doing as well. So if you have a particular campaign that we're running for you, we can let you know how that's going with regular efforts. We're working with the region vice presidents for legislative affairs, getting them quarterly reports so they know how their members are doing. But we can do this for region presidents, area presidents, and for anyone else. So that's some of the tracking and reporting that we can do. You should also keep in mind, too, that because this website is public-facing, not everybody's a Navy League member. So we could also cross-check this for you as well and look at people in your region who are taking action but maybe are not in our database and are not members. And those are some folks that you can target for membership campaigns or reach out to them and invite them to a meeting. So these are all some, and so this is also a nice, easy way to get people engaged. So if there's a potential new member or corporate member that you've been tracking that doesn't want to fully commit to the Navy League, this is a nice way for them to see what we're all about and see what we're doing. This will cost them nothing. There's no effort besides just a couple of clicks, just some time on your computer or on your phone, on the app on your phone, and it shows them, here's what the Navy League can do. Here's what we're fighting for. So if you're trying to recruit new members, this is a great way to show people, here are the issues that we care about. Here's what we're talking about. Here's how many Navy League members are doing something about this. So it's a really good kind of example of our actual work that you can show them just from your telephone or from your computer without having to make them go to a meeting. So this is a great way to get people involved in the Navy League, one step at a time. So we hope that you'll use it as a commercial for any membership recruitment you're doing as well. So let's say you think that was too easy, but you're very sold on the idea of getting engaged and how important constituent messages and visits are. There's always more that you can do. So this is just, the Voice of Congress site makes a difference, but it is the easiest way to get involved. I should say, it just takes a couple of clicks, and once your information's in there, you just hit the send button. So you feel called to a higher duty, you want to do more. We have other ways of scaling up your involvement, and this can either be you, or if you see a member in the report that we send you that's sending a letter every couple of weeks, obviously that person wants to get more engaged, so you can recruit them to do more for the Navy League. So we've got a program called Grassroots, in which Navy League members go out and meet with their member of Congress or their district director in the district. So no need to come all the way to Washington. Members of Congress have multiple offices in each district where they will meet with you, and they're happy to. This is their job. Their number one job is to meet with constituents and hear what their needs are. So they will accept a meeting with you. We'll get you trained. We'll give you all the materials. We'll tell you what to say, help you set up the meeting, and you can do these meetings in person. So that's one way you can scale up. You can also send letters to the editor of your local paper. That's another thing that you can do in terms of advocacy that makes a big difference. We are happy to take a look. We're happy to take a look at them if you'd like and screen them for you, or even draft them for you if you'd like. If you want to send us, hey, this article that denigrated the Navy made me mad, help me come up with a response, we're happy to draft that for you. Some local newspapers have guest editorials, and if you decide you want to write one and put your name, in the local paper talking about, why my community should support the Coast Guard, we're happy to write that for you. So, or take a look at whatever you've written. And then if you really want to get engaged, looking ahead to next year, we've got an Anchors Away fly-in, and that's when you come to DC, actually, in the fall, and walk around and meet with multiple members in one day. And for that, we take care of a lot of that for you. Again, we give you the training, we give you the materials, we'll set up your schedule for the day, and you'll be able to meet with, we had some teams who met with as many as 7 or 8 members of Congress in a day. So you can really get a lot done. So that shows how you can scroll up into the legislative affairs program. Like I said, it's not some of you have done this before. See, there's not too many changes in terms of the platform or ease of use, but we want to take advantage of the headquarters training series to make sure everyone saw the new website and that it wasn't, even though it looks different, it's still just as easy to use, and also show how easy it is. So hopefully we can get some more people that are involved. And once you like that, see how easy it is to scale up, because you really will start to notice difference. Once you send a letter, you should get a letter back from your member of Congress or a staffer thanking you or giving you some intel and some insight about what they think. You know, and you'll start a conversation, you'll start a dialogue, and it's really satisfying because you'll see that they care and that they listen, which is something that we really want you to know, that you are the most important person to that member of Congress. As a constituent, as a voter, you matter. And so once you start realizing that, it becomes a little addictive. You get really hooked on you know, getting your opinions shared with somebody who can actually do something about it, with making your voice heard, and being a part of the process. You know, the C services depend on you, and they'll feel that difference as well. They always thank us for our advocacy efforts. We're hearing that from the top levels, you know, that our advocacy, our outreach really makes a difference, because when it comes from you, it's sincere. It's not, you're not a defense contractor who's advocating for more ships because you want to sell them to the United States government. You're not doing this for any selfish reason at all. You're doing this because you care about the sea services, and you want the men and women in uniform to have the best equipment and that they can get and have the resources that they need. So you, as a sincere and true advocate, it really makes a difference, and they can see that. They can see that authenticity. So I really encourage you to get started. If you can, edit those letters to make them as personal as possible, because that makes a big difference. And if you find it easy, great. Go, you know, scale up and be a part of our grassroots program. We're only as strong as the number of people that we have. So as many letters as we have, as many people we have meeting, it really makes a difference. A little bit of background: the way it works in congressional offices is they really do sit there, they read these letters, and they count them, they tally them to see how many folks support or oppose a certain issue. And they also will use constituent mail to find new issues on which, you know, they've got a lot of things to keep track of. So hearing from constituents over and over and over again about a certain talking point, about a certain issue, really will bring it to their attention. Constituent mail is one of the most important things a congressional office does. So we really want to make sure that we're making our voices heard. That's how other organizations like the NRA, like some of the healthcare groups have had such an impact, is because they're mobilizing folks and they are just really beating that drum. And we should be at that level too, because we really care. And so I think it's made a big difference. We've heard from member offices about hearing from Navy Leaguers, and that makes everything much, much easier in terms of getting policies and programs approved for the sea services. So we really hope that you'll take this to heart, because the sea services are counting on you to make this kind of a difference. And it's not hard, it's not scary, it's very easy. And so hopefully by dipping your toe in the Voice of Congress site, you'll feel empowered, start that dialogue, and start to do more. All right, that's it. I'm your main point of contact. Like I said, if you want to see a report, if you want to add a new campaign, I'm your point of contact. If you want to get involved in the grassroots program, I'll be your main point of contact. That's my email. Email is always the best way to get in touch with me, and my phone number. And that's it. I promised you guys a short one. You saw how easy it is to use, so it's not too complicated. Just wanted to mostly make a commercial and a plug for our legislative affairs efforts, and hopefully get some new folks excited and involved and interested in doing it. So we appreciate you sharing this information with your councils, with your friends, with potential new members that you're trying to recruit. We think this is a great tool that we have, that we want to make sure is being used as widely as possible. So I'll stop there and see if we have any questions. No? All right, let me see. Okay, so I don't think we have any questions. So thank you everyone for your time. Oh, yes.
Carrie had a question.
Oh, yes, sure.
I don't know, is she still on? She wanted to know how to invite a congressperson to attend a meeting, or how to ask to meet with a member of Congress.
Oh, great. Sure. So that's all pretty easy. So what you would want to do is visit that. You can either go to that member's website and call the office that's closest to you. Actually, I can just go ahead and show you. Let's say you were looking for, I was looking at Congressman Joe Courtney. Let's say you're out in Connecticut and you want to make an appointment with Joe Courtney. The best, easiest way to do it is to call the office that's closest to you and just try and set an appointment. Say, hi, I'm calling with the Navy League of the United States. We have an upcoming council meeting and we'd like to invite the member to be a guest speaker, and they'll walk you through the process of coming up with dates. If you can't get through with somebody on the phone, you can reach out to us and I will give you the scheduler's email. We pay for a directory that enables us to find who the latest scheduler is and who the district director is, and they'll help you out with that. So if you have any trouble, feel free to reach out to us and we'll make it happen for you. But this is their job. Talking to you is their job. So if you invite them to speak, odds are they will come. We can also share with you the congressional calendar, which will kind of help you figure out when they're going to be there. Generally, you'll want them over the weekends. Mondays and Fridays are when members of Congress are in the district. So those are good times to invite them to speak. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, they're going to be in Washington, D.C., so those are generally not good days. But if you're doing an event, I'd recommend doing it on the weekend and asking them to attend. If you'd like us to help draft an invitation letter for you, we'd be happy to. But basically, the information that they need is just, the date, the time, how long you want them to speak. I'd include a little bit of information about your council so they're prepared and ready to brief, and tell them what you want them to talk about. And this can be something as broad as, what is Congress doing to support the Navy? Something like that will be fine, and they'll come and talk to you. To meet with a member of Congress, it's the same deal. You just contact the scheduler, tell them a little bit about yourself, what you want to meet to talk to them about, and you'll find a time. It's really not. It's just like setting up a meeting with anybody else, except if anything, it should be easier because that's their job, is to listen to you, to go to these meetings, and to take constituent meetings. And don't be surprised if you don't get the member of Congress right away. A lot of times they'll first have you meet with a staffer, and then once the staffer meets with you and kind of says, okay, this person's legit, they know what they're talking about, they're sincere, they're not just going to harass you, they'll get through. I know right now a lot of congressional offices, especially a lot of Senate offices, are sending people straight to voicemail. Because of so many of the protests and things that are going on right now. So if that happens to you, let us know. And like I said, I can get you that scheduler contact info. And so you can bypass the phone call altogether and just send them a note. So if you're looking to try and track down the scheduler, we can get that for you. But honestly, a phone call to a district office that's closest to you is going to be your best bet. But again, we're happy to, if you want to call me and walk through it, say like, hey, here's the event that we're designing. Can you help us reach out? I'd be happy to. So we're also a resource too. If you want us to help coordinate that meeting, just send us the details and we'll get you guys in touch. But speaking to groups like the Navy League is their bread and butter. That's what they're really there for and there to do. And they would love to come speak to a council, even just as much if not more, speaking to somebody one-on-one, because you get a whole audience of voters to talk about these issues. So they should be, they want it. They love talking, so they will definitely want to come and talk to you. All right. Okay. So I'm now checking the chat function. I don't see any other questions. I don't know if anybody else on the line has anything else.
Don Giles here. I joined late, but thank you for the presentation. I want to see if the speaker is my microphone's working.
Yes, I hear you. I hear you. You came through.
Good. Thank you very much. I just want to make sure my system's up as it should be. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. And so basically the main takeaway is, we're here as a resource. If there's anything that you guys want to do in terms of inviting a member to speak or meeting with one and you're not sure how to go about doing it, again, that contact info, just send me a note. I'll put this back up. Send me a note and we will help you do it. We want to empower you guys to do it and make sure that you have all the resources that you need. So I think that's it for us. I don't see any other questions. I don't hear any others, but like I said, if something occurs to you later, just feel free to reach back out to us. I think this is one of the most important missions that the Navy League accomplishes. We fill a role that nobody else can really do. So the pressure is really on for us as members to make sure we fulfill that obligation. And so if there's something that you get stuck with, please always just give us a call and we'll figure it out and find a way to help you. We've got a lot of, like I said, we've got a lot of subscriptions, a lot of access, so we can help smooth that passageway for you. All right, and I think that's it. So again, I hope you guys will all be, I'm expecting to see this, see our website numbers jump, because I'm sure so many of you are excited by this program. So, all right, thank you guys, thank you all.